riled up. We're getting riled up. You getting riled up? Brian, how are you doing?
Oh,
You look panicked.
Whatever sounds you're making. It's not the sound of a not the sound of a cold, nicely cold brewed coffee in the morning. That's not what it sounded like.
What?
I don't know.
What's wrong? What's wrong? It's okay.
Everything's fine. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a lot of amazing things unfolding, and I'm excited about life. I'm excited about this lukewarm coffee I'm drinking, and I'm excited to be here with you.
For coming from the guy that was all about, iced coffee as a rite of passage and yada.
It is.
Whatever. Welcome to Z&B Live Unfiltered. I am one of your absolutely gorgeous hosts, Zach, with the ever so beautiful Mr. Bricks. Oh, Brian.
Getting a haircut tomorrow, right before we go to Brick World Chicago, man.
That's why I'm wearing a hat. My hairs are getting cut this afternoon.
Nice.
It's I tend to. You have a nice curly.
Go ahead, say it. I got a nice big round head. Go ahead.
Yeah,
say
you got a nice big round curly fro thing going on that I really enjoy. I just feel like if I was a spicy redhead, I'd just be taking my fingers and just twirling the fingers in there, getting all twirled up. Right. My hair tends to grow out as if Bob Ross and Wolverine had a love child. Like it goes out from the sides. The sides grow faster than the top.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I kept it a little bit longer the first time, so I'm like, if I put everything up, I'm a similar way, but I'm gonna get it really short on the sides and kind of keep it. I ideally don't even want to cut anything off the top. Maybe clean it up, maybe ever so slightly, but I want to really
tell the
bring
lady.
it in.
I say, please, just the sides and the mullet in the back. I don't need a party in the back. Please, just give me the sides and the back. Leave the top as is, and then she does whatever she wants to do because
Yep.
It never. You can go walk in with. Why is this always the case? You walk in with pictures and you're like, I want to look like this, and you walk out with a mohawk, and I'm like, how did we get from A to B here? How did this happen? I never understand how this all.
Are you a local barbershop guy or you're a Supercuts guy?
No, I have a lady. I got a lady. I got a hair lady.
You go to a salon to get your hair done?
We found that she's owner. She owns her own place down in one of our cultural districts, and we discovered, my wife and I both go to the same lady, and we discovered her because she has the exact same last name as us, but we're absolutely not related. But that's how we ended up finding her. But super nice. So the whole family ends up going to her. My son even goes to her at this point. But yeah, it's but she's a lovely lady, just does what she wants. You could talk to her for an hour about what you want going on up here and here in this situation. Doesn't matter. She's gonna give you what she thinks you deserve.
Right.
And
that's a similar way for me. I go to a train station to get my hair cut, and it's like you walk in, they give you whatever, and then you're on your way.
Yep, that's the way it works. We actually have, folks, some breaking news to start the live show today. Ladies and gentlemen,
I can hear it this time.
You can. Maybe everything is working appropriately. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea if everything's working appropriately. But we do have some breaking news this morning. Lego, who has been teasing us with some spicy bit of news, dropped a full-on trailer today for the Wicked Lego theme that they are going to be unveiling. Not just some sets, folks. They have it listed as an entire theme coming up. And the way that they've been slowly leaking this stuff out a little bit, but the way that they kind of officially announced sets coming and a lot of what you can expect with the sets and things was they completely redid the entire Wicked movie trailer in Lego from start to finish. The entire Wicked trailer in Lego, and I thought it was brilliant. Like, what a great way to do it, because you're going to get an idea of what to expect from the entire line of Lego that they're coming out with. Now, they announce it just like the movie coming Thanksgiving. So I don't know if they're releasing, it seems to me that they're releasing all of this along with everything in Thanksgiving. However, if you go onto the website, onto the Lego website, you can now search Wicked on the Lego website, and you get brought into a theme, a Wicked theme, where it's very minimal, not a whole lot going on, very minimalist here of what's going on. But it says magic happens in 94 days. 94 days. So I don't think that's Thanksgiving, right? Right. It's October. Yeah. So even though they're advertising like the film Thanksgiving, I think we're looking more at like an October release for these sets. Now, you said early on when they teased this during the Super Bowl, who's going to care about this? You said it. And apparently a lot of people care about this, Mr. Brooks O'Brien. Because people are going bonkers over the fact that they're using mini dolls instead of mini figs for this stuff. Ooh. You shouldn't be now. Oh, wait. No, you still are. Why are you still muted? No, you're not muted. Hold on. Stand by.
Brian's never sounded better.
Okay. Brian's never sounded better. All right. So let's start that over. So as far as the marketing and push and whatnot, why is Lego pushing so much into this right now?
Lego is pushing into Wicked significantly for a theme that is going to bomb in summer 2025. It's gonna come out. It's not gonna have the grandiose reveal that I think that they're going to. And I know what Wizard of Oz is. I've seen it. I know it's a classic movie. It's very appreciated for film and whatever it is. I don't know what Wicked is other than that it's a musical. And as somebody who, the studio is trying to get, Lego is trying to get by saying, hey, we have a new movie. Hey, we have a new theme. I watched that initial trailer. I had no idea what was going on. I could not follow it. And I have context on what a lot of these characters are. I kind of get the world at least a little bit. And I don't think it has nearly as much to do with mini dolls, but I think it has everything to do with the relevance of what Wizard of Oz and Wicked is. I just don't think it's there. I think this is another one of those like Avatar, Way of Water, and the ones that came before it. Like, hey, we have a brand new movie. Let's dump all this money into it, and it's just not going to resonate. It's going to linger on shelves and whatever. Like, the mini dolls are only for The main are they for the main two characters? Or are they for everyone featured
Everybody.
in the trailer?
According to this trailer that we're watching, everything is mini dolls. Now they do have a goat walking around in there. Of course, they had to add the goat, right?
Yeah.
Got to bring those people in with the goat.
Yeah, I just don't I don't think this is gonna break out of the mold of the of anything. I don't think it's gonna like cross into I could very well be entirely wrong, but I don't think it's gonna cross into like the mainstream pop culture in a way that I feel like this kind of a trailer is justified for something like Barbie when it came out. It really like it's not just a toy movie. It is a you need to see this over the summer alongside Oppenheimer or even skip Oppenheimer because Barbie is that good and it's just it just transcends everything. I think they really want that for this, and I don't inherently get the vibe it's going to. Nothing about that trailer in Lego form or otherwise tells me that I need to go see this the day it comes out. And if I don't care about the movie, why would I care about the Lego sets, mini dolls or otherwise?
The movie is going to make $1 gazillion. The movie's going to make because people love this property. People love this property, and the music is so good. The music is so catchy. I wonder now, is it going to hurt the overall sales of this because they went mini doll? There's such a stigma attached to mini dolls. I don't get it. I don't care either way. But when you go the route of a mini doll, I feel like you are removing some of the audience because people are all about their collectible minifigs and they want minifig style, not mini doll style, right? So it's a weird thing for them. It's a weird decision for them to make, other than there's still this. It's almost like mini dolls are attached to girls, and it's like they want to go after that market, right?
Well, yeah,
It's the Elsa and Anna, the Disney, princesses, the stuff that they keep releasing in mini doll style and stuff like. They're trying to hit that, and I don't know if I agree with that. I think that's a bad move.
I know from work. I mean, this information gets irrelevant as the years go on. But I remember when working at the Lego store, there are so many people that go for Lego Friends, not because it's the grandmother that says, "Oh, my daughter's gonna play with the dolls." It is just girls happen to just gravitate to Friends and to the mini dolls in general more than minifigures. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really go anywhere beyond that. Like Lego has tested it out multiple, different instances of like, okay, you put these two things next to each other, which do you prefer? And it's just the mini dolls resonate. So for the hardcore Lego people, yeah, you want all the minifigures looking the exact same way and in uniform. I'm that way. Like I don't have any mini dolls. There's never been one that I'm like, yeah, I have to have it because of whatever. Because I like the minifigures that form factor. But I don't think they're gonna lose sales because they are mini dolls. But I do wonder how many younger girls are gonna go see Wicked and then feel compelled to go get a mini doll set, because this also seems like maybe something for older adults, I guess, that know the Broadway musical and want to bring their younger ones to it. So that's what I'm curious about. And if you can't win over the young girls with this movie, then yeah, you're not going to sell any of these Lego sets. They're going to sit on shelves. So you get to kind of the same result in two different ways. Either people don't care about the movie at all, or the main demographic for the sets, they don't care. Like, there's too many points of failure, in my opinion, and nothing redeeming it outside of it, I guess. Is a weird way of me saying it. But I actually feel that way about something else we're going to be talking about later in the show too. So,
Yeah, it's you do have a tendency to like some musicals and whatnot. You went gaga over Wonka as an example, right? As a recent musical.
I liked Wonka. I listened to the Hamilton soundtrack, like, so when the very mainstream, obviously.
I highly encourage you to go see this film. If you're not going to have an opportunity to go see a stage production of this, which I honestly think it's a fantastic show. It's an absolute fantastic show. the stage production is incredible, right? But if you can't find it, it's hard to find. I think they do a traveling circuit now, but I think it's off Broadway at this point. Um, y- Go watch the movie. You're going to enjoy it.
Am I going to be able to follow what's going on? Because that trailer,
100%. And it's actually going to make you. What's really fun about this story is that it makes you look at the Wizard of Oz differently, the original Wizard of Oz differently, and it's fascinating how it does that. But there's the story itself it does resonate with people all over the world about being different and embracing being different. And maybe there's some subtext to that about going mini doll as opposed to minifig, is that mini dolls are a little different and they're kind of looked down upon. Maybe it's embracing
no,
the difference there.
I think you're looking.
Hey, I like to find the subtext in this, and I'm just telling you, it's an odd choice for them to do mini dolls here as opposed to minifigs, because I do think that will hurt the sales. That could hurt the sales.
No, that was somebody in a suit in Denmark made that decision, or at a movie studio, and then we're trying to get the young ladies involved in this intellectual property for the next 20 years. Hey, what are we gonna do? And then they make mini dolls, and then he's done.
So Mr. Bricks O'Brien is out of the gate. Obviously, he is. This is going to be a set that or a theme that he's definitely not into, doesn't care about. You know, I'm curious to see how many people are kind of all about it, but we'll see. Now, moving on to the big announcement of the week. This is something that they just kind of snuck in there today, but the thing that we have been waiting for finally has arrived to Lego, and it is The Legend of Zelda, and not just a set, but potentially an entire theme. They have now created a theme on their webpage. It's now listed as a separate thing. It's not even under the ideas or icons or anything else. It is listed as its own heckin' theme. And they're starting with the massive Deku Tree. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, I need your thoughts on this set immediately.
The meme that immediately comes to mind, I don't know if you've seen these, Zach, but it's like something crazy is happening on screen, like, dirt biking up a mountain, or like painting doing something crazy. And the caption is, your unemployed friend randomly on a Tuesday afternoon. And that's what Lego did with this announcement. No context, no nothing, out of the blue, totally random, totally crazy. Them announcing the Lego Deku Tree from Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time / Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, however you want to phrase it. So I would like to also go on record here that I am right. Okay? When you look at this set, and we don't talk about leaks here, but if we talk about the leaks, when this was first rumored and put out into the multiverse, and there was like, oh, we have this survey out there. Would you guys buy this if it looks like this? It looks identical to what it looked like well over a year ago when that survey went out. So anytime I say like, hey, when this set is rumored, it's in a box and done and ready to ship, I'm correct, because identical. It has not changed at all. From like that Breath of the Wild version to what it looks like on that box right there, 100% locked in and ready to go. So that means, everybody, that X-Men mansion is sitting in a warehouse in Mexico ready to go for November right this very moment. So get ready. Get ready for November. I am excited about the idea of a Lego Legend of Zelda theme. If you happen to look at the press release, which I don't know if a lot of people saw, I linked it in a couple people's chats before, but looking at what Eiji Aonuma has said, the Deku Tree was the first element from the Legend of Zelda we wanted to represent using Lego bricks. It was the first element from The Legend of Zelda we want it represented. The first, not the last, not the only, the first. So them making their own Lego theme for it on the website, 100% lines up and is awesome. I think this set kind of sucks. That being said, with that being said, kind of sucks. So the reason why it sucks,
my mind was just blown, Chad. I thought Brian was like just the Wolverine meme, like holding the picture and like stroking the picture of this Deku tree. I thought that's what I've been imagining Brian doing in his bed at night with this set.
You get a weird visual for me, man.
On purpose.
The tree in either form is okay. I think it looks a little wonky, and especially on the Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, we'll just call it Breath of the Wild version. And I think a lot of that has to do, honestly, you never really get a good look of the tree in the game. And not only that, but it's very polygonal with the way that it looks, because the Switch is basically a toaster compared to today's standards. So you never really see it in detail. So this is kind of like almost the most detailed version of this tree we've ever seen in this iteration here. Same thing goes for the Ocarina of Time version, because that was from the 90s. So it kind of just looks a little bit off in that way. If you were to pick anything to represent Legend of Zelda, I am not, full transparency, the biggest Legend of Zelda fan to ever exist ever. Not by a long shot. But I know Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom pretty well, and whatever. This would not be the first thing that comes to mind, but definitely in the top 5, so I get why they went with it. The fact that it's a 2-in-1, very cool. You're representing 2 different generations of Legend of Zelda. It's very telling that they put the Breath of the Wild version on the box, because as much as old school Zelda fans may not want to admit, but the newer games are the best selling in the series of all time, by millions and millions and millions of copies. So these games are way more popular than the ones from the 90s and early 2000s and whatever. $300 really sucks. Hardcore. I do not see the value here. I don't see it from a height standpoint. I don't see it from a density of parts standpoint. I can only attribute it to the molds and unique elements that are like the printed that's in here, like the Master Sword, the Hylian Shield, unbelievable. Top 5 Lego pieces I think to ever exist of all time. That Master Sword is unbelievable. And you know that Lego could have been like, oh, we're just going to recolor this regular sword with a purple hilt and call it a day.
Right.
Because they've absolutely been that lazy before, and they could have copped out and done that, but they didn't, because they knew how important this was to not only the fans, but to charge $300 for a set like this. By golly, it
and
better.
The shields, to the shield and everything. Like
and the shield. Yes.
The figs, the accessories, knocked them out of the park, man. Like
10,000%. $300 for this is what, looking at this on face value here, 1,000% unjustified in every way, shape, and form. I don't see $300 of value here. It's a foot tall, so yeah, it probably has a decent, area it's spread out upon. But if we're drawing comparisons and whatnot here, when the Daily Bugle first came out, that was $300. It was massive in its height, obviously not as big of a footprint, maybe even the same size, and it had over 20 minifigures in it, and that was from Marvel, a series that has been around in Lego for years and has the Marvel tax and is popular with the movies. So I really don't see a reason here why this is $300 at 2,500 pieces. It makes no sense. 4 minifigures is fine. Them being 3 of them being Link, 1 in Zelda, that's fine, because there's different timelines and iterations of the characters.
Yeah,
that's all fine.
Whatever. I still turn my nose up at that.
If you're a fan of Legend of Zelda, and if this were the only Legend of Zelda set we were ever going to get, it is justified having the 3 iterations of Link, even though I haven't played a lot of those older games. That's fine to me. You could have included more. I wish you could have got regular Zelda, maybe a Ganondorf, maybe, I don't know. Literally
it's
anyone.
missing a Ganondorf. Like that, to me, it's missing a big bad. It's missing some kind of...
But the big bad never somebody correct me here, never really appears near the Deku Tree. So
It's
I
not
get
about,
it.
I mean, come on. They've taken those liberties so many
I
times with
know.
things like
I
that.
know.
It's not about that. This is a minifig grab. Somebody in our live chat just pointed it out. It's $75 a minifig with a tree gift with purchase. I have no context for this because I never played Ocarina of Time, and I never finished uh Breath of the Wild to the point where I got to this particular tree, or I don't even know what the heck this tree is. I have no clue, right? This set is obviously not for me. This looks like a boring set. This looks like a boring build to me. Like there's nothing in here going, "Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to build this set." And this is coming from a guy that has built a lot of gray Star Wars sets over and over and over again, a lot of gray pieces, right? This set just does not have an it factor for me, but I'm obviously not the audience. I reached out to people that were the audience that have played played all the Legend of Zelda games on all the different systems that they've come out with, and have said, is this set a day one for you? You've been waiting for a set like this. Is this a day one set for you? And over and over and over again, I've been told at $300, no.
It's
150 maybe.
expensive.
At 150 maybe, but at $300, no, for what you get. You're getting the same the same Link character, just in different, different torsos and different heights. Like give me a break. And here's the thing, this is they have it listed as a theme. We're going to get, at least according to their website, it looks like we're going to get more sets in this theme as time goes on. That's your opportunity to include different figures, different versions of Link and whatever. 2-in-1 is great. You have two different versions of Link, to one for each whatever. Or if you're going to incorporate a bunch of those, maybe incorporate a bunch of the different Zeldas. Maybe you incorporate a Ganondorf. Maybe you incorporate some different enemies of different kinds that you can have in and around this set. But it's a very blah set for a set that fans have been waiting for and waiting for and waiting for and waiting for.
So if I put my marketing hat on for a moment here, if I'm Lego and I'm not tying this release into a game in any way, right? It's just like I said, that unemployed friend on a random Tuesday afternoon doing a cool thing. Then this is a way that you kind of announce a theme like this. You have a big, giant, very expensive whatever to break the ice and say, hey, this is a thing. We're gonna make a splash here. And then by the time this comes out in September, that is plenty of time for them to announce whatever else they want to from whatever other
Make it a
games.
flagship.
Make the whole thing
Yeah.
So I think, I would like to think that is a strategy here. And I hope so, if only from the standpoint, like I said, the newest games that have come out, best-selling ever. A lot of kids are playing them. A lot of kids love them. They are not going to be able to afford $300, and that is not the entry point you want for something like this. Whereas in a similar way, the tall neck from Horizon Zero Dawn, that's $90, $180, whatever it was. That is way more bearable than a $300 tree if you want an entry-level model into a new IP. So I think it's a matter of time. But yeah, just pun intended, I guess. But like going with just this, yeah, this is not a great, in my opinion, not a great first landing, I guess.
And that's going to be the real gut punch with this set is, are we going to see, are people, because right now it's available for pre-order, right? Which I think is a sneaky kind of tactic, because you're going to get people that are like, oh my God, the Master Sword. Oh my God, these accessories. Oh my God, the minifig. I need it for the minifigs. I need it for these, as opposed to trying to bricklink them or secondhand them afterwards, right? Well, then all of a sudden you pre-order all this stuff, and then in a month they announce all these other smaller play sets and things that incorporate the same Master Swords, the same accessories, variations of the figures and things like that then all of a sudden you didn't need to spend the $300 on this set.
No, I think there's going to be stuff from this is going to be exclusive, if not forever. Maybe not the Master Sword. That's always going to be in a very expensive set. But you technically, at least in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you get the Master Sword and the Hylian Shield in two separate places, and that very much relies on you picking up gear from enemies all throughout the world. So that's not necessarily tied to one another. And you have an opportunity to do a bunch of really cool stuff. So if I were Lego, I would have a $50 to $70 set for a Guardian from the game with Link on his horse, and when he jumps off it, he has his bow and arrow, whatever. You have all the different, low-level enemies represented. You play into the whole control time, control whatever, all the different things from his hand, from Tears, like what. I'm probably talking a second language to you right now, Zach. But there's like a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of that stuff you can do that is under $100 easily. This is a theme you could put out stuff for the next 10 years and not even scratch the surface, just like Mario.
Sure.
So it's this is just the beginning. So if you're like on this kind of like I am, I like a little bit, you can just wait it out for a minute.
That's what I'm saying. Wait it. Wait it out.
Yeah.
It's I know they're enticing you with that pre-order right now, and I've been a big, strong advocate for pre-orders. You are the guy
that's like, you got to pre-order this and make sure you are
I'm saying, wait, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Wait to see what they come out with. You've got until September. Like, just wait. Just wait and see what they're going to come out with, because I feel like they're sneaking you into getting these pre-orders early. And they've got stuff planned behind. It's almost opposite of what they did with Simba, where they gave us the smaller $20 version first and then hit us with the larger version, right? This one, I feel like they're going on. They're sending out their flagship saying pre-order, 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 and then they're going to hit us with some of these smaller $20, $30, $40, $50 sets that have the same minifigures in them. I'll be curious to see if that Master Sword only sticks in the larger set like this. You're probably right, but I'm gonna wait and hold off. I look at this set and I absolutely 100% say completely overrated. Everything about this set, people are going there. I've seen both. I've seen people that are complaining about the price, but they are so excited to get it, man. They are ready to go. They're pre-ordering it. They were pre-ordering it yesterday, right? This set is one of the most highly anticipated and most overrated sets that I've seen Lego come out with in a while, which brings us to the big hot topic of the entire episode today, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. Overrated Lego sets. There's been a lot of them.
A lot of them.
And I think we have varying opinions on these overrated Lego sets. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, what defines an overrated Lego set for you?
Overrated means I can't stop hearing people talk about it all the time. It might stem a lot from nostalgia or particular parts that come out of it. When I start to hear people geek out over particular elements of a set and not factoring in the full picture of it as a combined product, that's when people kind of lose me. So although I just geeked out over, I guess, the Master Sword and Hylian Shield and all that, is a handful of parts a reason for you to go and pick up a Lego set? Probably not. Is it because of the nostalgia you have for it? That's what it generally is for me. This topic actually stemmed from something I said. Somebody asked me as a must answer question on my live show. Like it was actually Kevin. So shout out to Kevin. He asked me, like, what's the most overrated Lego set? And I had to think on it. And this is knowing full well that I do this show with Zach, and not to disparage him or his feelings toward anything. And it was not a personal attack, which none of this is. Okay? We are two civil adults who are fighting over plastic. But I said Voltron was one of them. I said Voltron was one of those sets that I personally don't get it. I've never seen Voltron. Looking at it as an outsider, I'm like, man, it's knockoff Power Rangers, and the reason they went with making this set in the first place is because they couldn't get Power Rangers, they couldn't get Transformers, and now that we do
You
have
do
that,
know that Voltron came before Power Rangers, right?
I stand by my statement.
Just making
Now
sure.
that they have those things, you're not going to hear anything from Voltron or otherwise, because Transformers is just a more successful kind of a thing. As illustrated by, I think, us getting Bumblebee later this year. I don't know, but that's what the rumor on the street is. So I don't get it at all. So I keep hearing people talk about it. It seems very repetitive with having 5 of the same creature for the most part. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what?
Not into it at all.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna expand upon Brian's overrated definition as well. Everything he said is 100% correct about, something that we would consider overrated. I would also say it's not that we hate the set that might be classified as overrated, or we don't still like or even love the set. Is it as the end all be all that everybody kind of makes it out to be, because it's a major topic of conversation and it's a major desire? I mean, I look at a lot of stuff that way on the secondary market and things like that. I see that all the time with minifigures and things like that. The Cloud City Boba Fett going for $250, the Jango Fett minifig going for 400 something. Like these, I look at that and I go, why? Like, I mean, I get why, because it was a limited run and you can't get them anywhere and whatever. I understand that. I understand value, but I also look at it and go, what? Like, what's the big deal? And there's a lot of sets out there like that, for me especially, that I look at and I say, I don't get the hype. I just don't. Like, I look at it, it's like, it's an okay set. I just don't get the hype. I love the fact that I have Voltron. I love the fact that I can walk by it and I can see it and I had a building experience with it. I feel the same way about the UCS Millennium Falcon. I look at that and I love it. It is a gorgeous set. The greebling on it made me feel like I was a part of the model making of the film and all this and that. That build experience sucked. That was not a fun set to build. And, I can't say that that's a set that is for everybody, because I don't think it is. I don't think that set is for everybody. And honestly, Voltron's the same way. Once I got done with Voltron, I was like, okay, I got it. It was my white whale. I got it done. Is that going to go down as one of my favorite builds of 2024? Absolutely not. So yes, I think Voltron 100% is a very overrated set. And I know it's going to shock a lot of people here because it was my white whale set, right?
That doesn't mean you enjoy it any less, either.
I still enjoyed the heck out of it. I still think that was I still think it's a very unique style set. But you can definitely see the growth in Lego from where they were when they made that set to where they are now when they make something like an Optimus Prime, where you don't have to take things apart in order to transform and whatnot. Like he kind of transforms I'm more impressed with the Optimus Prime set that they came out with a couple years ago than I am Voltron at this point, because of the engineering that went into Optimus Prime versus the engineering that went into Voltron. But Voltron is a very much more impressive set to look at. It just is. So I look at a lot of sets. There's a lot of sets that I see in a lot of people's collections. It's like sets that people feel like they have to have, right? Like as Lego collectors, as Lego fans, as AFOLs, is sets that you always see in everybody's backgrounds and things like that. And one of the ones that I always see in everybody's background, and it always cracks me up, is that stupid Infinity Gauntlet. That Infinity Gauntlet sucks. That is not a good set. That Infinity Gauntlet is boring, repetitive, and does nothing. Like, it's so dumb. Everybody builds it just so they can flip you off with it. Like, that's the only good of that set. But it's in everybody's background. I've got it in my background. It's everybody has it, right? Because everybody thought, oh my God, I need this Infinity Gauntlet set. It's not a good set. It's highly overrated. It is not. Don't go out and seek it out in the aftermarket. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Just leave it. I'm more excited about taking the pieces of that set that Mr. Bricks O'Brien sent me and making a nice golden toilet out of it. That's what I'm excited about doing with that set.
To be fair, I think everything on a stand that has come out, all the different busts and the helmets and the Wolverine claw and I would say the nano gauntlet is very overrated. If we're talking either one of those gauntlets,
both of those are basically the same. It was just the Infinity Gauntlet started it, right?
Different hand. Yeah. That thing is stupid. It didn't get nearly enough time to shine. Like whatever. So all of them on those stands, though, I think they all kind of are poo poo. Anyways, I think Lego is moving away from them too, right? They had one come out fairly recently, but I think
they had the Spider-Man one come out. I don't know how many more of these helmets and busts and things like that we're gonna see.
I think it's fine.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. The other one that I wanted to throw out there that I know I think it's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. The bonsai tree. I'm not I love looking at that thing. I think it's a nice pretty set to put on a display case and everything. Maybe I just didn't get it. I put it together and I went, all right. I dumped out a bunch of dots, in the thing, in the container, and I went, all right.
And I think
people went gaga over it because of those stupid pink frogs.
Yeah, it's a cheeky way of pulling off a building technique, and they do that all the time.
Right.
That's not necessarily a foreign concept. I think because it also started off the botanical collection in a way, like that was it. I think
the botanicals in general, though, for me, a lot of those are so repetitive and so boring. Like it's very rare that I enjoy building one of the botanical sets.
Yeah. So that also came out during 2020, I believe. Yeah. So that was like a Lego set that sparked joy during the time. I don't think it's something you need to go and pay on the aftermarket for. I think there's like other things out there that you can go and kind of cure that itch. But I agree to an extent. It was one of those I thought about for a hot second, but I'm like, no, this is not something I would leave built up for more than probably 2 weeks and then put it in a bag and call it a life and eventually trade it away at a convention.
I was so excited about the bonsai tree when it was released that I bought 2 of them. Because I wanted to do one as the pink frog and the cherry blossom style, and then the other one as the green leaves, right? And I thought I could use them as bookends and stuff. And I built the first one. And I was like, I don't want to build this other one. It's just sitting in a box.
Bonsai tree is the quintessential piece of decorative art for your 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn that you want to impress your Tinder dates with.
Your internet dates with.
Well, it changes location in this economy. You get kicked out of one place and move into the next one depending on the day. So
to me there's a lot of overrated sets that you could, or a lot of sets you could quantify as overrated, right? So as I was kind of sitting around and thinking through this topic, and I was really looking around on the internet and seeing what other people were saying, right? What are other people saying are overrated sets? Interesting. It's very, very interesting. If you just Google overrated Lego sets, everybody under the sun has lists. Top 10 overrated Star Wars Lego sets. It's very rare. Do you have an overall theme, like just Lego, like different themes or anything? It's Star Wars. Everybody wants to point to the freaking galaxy far, far away, man. And
I do.
I know you do. And I want to dig into that real quick, because is that justified? Is that warranted? Is as a Star Wars fan, I'm curious. Why is it that people constantly point at Star Wars as the most overrated theme that Lego puts out there?
Because Lego Star Wars fans, more than any other theme that Lego has under their belt, go over so many hoops in their heads and their wallets to justify buying something and finding the cool thing in it, even when it's absolutely lame in every way, shape, and form. The number one thing that comes to mind, the perfect instance of this is when Star Wars came out with a sand speeder, not the land speeder, but a sand speeder. Do you know what that is, Zach?
No.
Do you remember that from the movies? The sand speeder.
No.
No, it's stupid. And Star Wars is one of those themes where like they'll make up something and oh, you'll buy it anyways because it's Lego Star Wars and it has an exclusive print on it. And the amount of hoops you have to go through to justify that this is something you need to buy and be part of within the community or the fan base, and the fact that there is that tax on it time and time again. The fact that they made a $500 or $400 Lego set based on something that blows up as part of the de facto Millennium Falcon-esque ship in the franchise and just blow the thing up. And hey, now is the time that we're going to come out with this set that has exclusive figures and a really articulate build in it. Now that you have no emotional attachment to any of it, the Falcon is justified. The AT-AT is justified. A lot of these sets that have been around that pay homage to 40 years of Star Wars history, but there's too many instances where you can tell Lego is putting a thing in here to make an extra dollar off of some exclusive whatever, or it's based off of something that's just lame and they're letting themselves go hog wild with it. And if you try to follow even just all the Lego Star Wars stuff, you're going to be way more broke compared to a lot of these other Lego themes, and you're going to be a lot more dissatisfied compared to the other themes as well.
Push back on that a little bit. Bigger overrated theme, Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Oh, Star Wars by far.
Really?
Because Harry Potter, for all that has come out with it, you can tell the level of care that goes into every single set and how they all combine together, the colors that are used in each of the different environments to make them pop. And when you put those all together to make one big Hogwarts, and the system just works that well, it looks beautiful when it's done as compared to Lego Star Wars, where you have the UCS Venator, and they have that exclusive Captain Rex. And actually, no, we're going to put it in a Y-Wing for $10.
Allegedly.
That's how much.
Allegedly.
That's how much Lego Star Wars retains that elusive feel to it. That's how much Lego cares
Star Wars
about.
Gets blamed a lot. Star Wars gets blamed a lot for their color scheme, but that's a product of.
I think Star Wars is highly overrated too. Trust me. I don't think Star Wars is unbelievably overrated as well. But that's a separate topic.
Harry Potter continues, and I think they do this even more so than Star Wars does, which is surprising. Harry Potter continues to push out larger sets over and over and over again with just a little tweak to their design. Look at the castle system. The castle system, to me, was a big smack in the face because they pushed out this whole castle system, and before they ever got it done, they redid it. And they went back to the beginning.
They're on the third system now, actually.
Right. And that's
in 5 years.
That's silly. That's hurtful.
I agree.
And I've seen that over and over and over again with Harry Potter, as opposed to Lego Star Wars has done it a little bit here and there with smaller sets. You know, we've gotten, 2 iterations of like Obi-Wan Kenobi Starfighter, Yoda Starfighter, stuff like that, right? They'll make little tweaks to it. They'll add different minifigs to it, whatever. But the Harry Potter sets continue over and over and over again to push a lot of the same sets out with just a few little color scheme tweaks, and that's shameful. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And to me, that makes those sets a little bit more overrated than Star Wars. That being said, Star Wars has got a lot of overrated sets, a lot of them, and the Cantina for me is the big one. That is the most boring big tan set ever, and it's a minifig dump, and you could, whatever. Like you're opening the next bag just to get to the next minifig. That's all you're doing.
I agree.
And frankly, the older sets, the ones that are worth, for whatever reason, ridiculous money, Cloud City, Death Star, those sets are ugly.
Yeah, they are
ugly sets. They did not know how to. They didn't have the right pieces to make those sets back then. They didn't have the right design techniques to make those sets back then, and they are ugly, but yet they're worth thousands of dollars, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. But
That's somebody's investment, Zach. They have to be worth something. Line go
somebody's
up.
somebody's college fund.
Yep.
Somebody's college fund. I don't want this to all be doom and gloom, though, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. Let's talk about underrated sets. For you, what's a good underrated set that you don't feel like people are talking enough about?
Daily Bugle.
Daily Bugle's an underrated set.
You have a massive intellectual property like Marvel, a extensive history in the comics, especially with Spider-Man, a high price point set where, as we see with the Deku Tree, Lego has every right to take your money hand over fist and not provide the value that they deserve, or that you feel you deserve, rather. And the Daily Bugle crushes every single expectation and beyond, while keeping it within the framework of something fairly attainable, even for, you know, general public. The Avengers Tower, I think, is very extraordinarily expensive. $500 is a lot of money. Even if you use VIP points, gift cards, whatever, that's a bit too much. Now the Daily Bugle, they changed the price to $350, so let's use $350. Even at $350, the footprint of that set, what it represents within the universe of the source material, the amount of minifigures you get, the different varieties of minifigures. So you get, you know, not just Spider-Man, but then you get Peter Parker and then Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. And it is the perfect homage to classic Spider-Man. It has exclusive minifigures in it, more references that you can shake a stick at, and is just unbelievably impressive when you're looking at it, regardless of whatever else you have in your collection. Highly underrated. And I think once that is gone, that'll be one of the most highly sought after Lego sets, especially like 50 years from now. People will not believe that Lego ever came out with a set as cool with as much value packed into it as the Daily Bugle.
I mean, I agree. I didn't think that Daily Bugle was even considered underrated. I thought people were still talking about this set. Is the conversation really stopped about the Daily Bugle? Did the Avengers Tower like kind of take its thunder? Like, what happened here?
With Lego, it goes, you know, one thing to the next. You know, last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Barra-Dur. All right, who cares? We got Zelda now.
Sure. Yeah. What have you done for me lately? Makes sense.
So, you know, like,
makes sense. I'll tell you right now that there's a set that everybody celebrates still to this day. You yourself, huge, you know, you talk about this being one of the greatest Lego sets ever made, and that's the Nintendo Entertainment System that Lego put out. And I loved that set. I enjoyed building it. I love the mechanism of it. I love the fact that, you know, you have like a controller that you plug in and it has a cartridge that you push down. And then of course the television part of it was not for everybody because it got a little confused. The system itself was a fairly easy build, and it invited people who had never built Lego before into building Lego and said, "Oh, I want to build a little buildable NES set. I think this is cool." Then they got to the television and it was kind of complicated because of all the technique and everything involved. And I saw a lot of people really struggle with that television. I got a really hot take for you on an underrated set, Brian. The question mark block is a better set than the NES. And nobody's talking about it. The engineering inside the question mark block is better than the engineering inside the NES. Not only of the mechanism itself, that where you can open it up and the hidden compartments and things that the question mark block has, but the amount of secret hidden Easter eggs that you can now find with your little electronic Mario hidden all over that set, as opposed to you can only put your little electronic guy on top of the TV on the NES set. The question mark block does not get enough love compared to the NES set. The build is so much more fascinating than the NES. So much more fascinating than everybody goes gaga over the one little hidden level that they have in the NES, right? That's just one little taste. The question mark block took that idea and turned it up to 11, and nobody's talking about it. You are gonna be sad when that question mark block is gone. You're gonna be sad when that set is gone.
I think the moment of putting the digital Mario on top of the TV is better than all the moments of the question mark block combined. And I say that as somebody who has never played the original Mario Bros. On that kind of a TV with the actual NES system. And also as somebody who has played Mario 64 100% multiple times in his life. So I don't know what you want to say from that. I'm trying to think of, like, is it a more interesting build system? Like, I like the gravity aspect of it, right? When you flip it around, it kind of all pops out and pops back in. But I just think the moment of you move it, like seeing the screen move in that way, in a similar way to now we kind of see with Pac-Man, I think that just blows everything else out of the water. Even still, it looks too uniform and too good. And yeah, no, you can be wrong.
I also think that the question mark block is a lot more forgiving on the build as opposed to the television side of it. Because one of the most interesting aspects of the NES is that television, but it's also one of the most complicated. And if you screw that up, you really don't know you screwed it up until it's too late. Where the question mark block has a little bit more of a forgiving aspect to it. I just think it's a much better build experience overall than the NES set, and I think it's the engineering behind it is a lot more interesting than the NES set. The television.
That's what that's what Nintendo does the best. Actually, they like, or with Lego specifically. This is why it's so hard to predict what, like, the next Mario thing would be. Besides, obviously, what I selfishly want as, like, a unique thing, right? You could have never. You put me in a boardroom and we're like, oh, can you try to predict the question mark block or the NES? No, I couldn't have either. And I also could not have predicted Bowser, which I also think is severely underrated as a build overall. The fact that you have a character that is not just, like, complete on all sides, but it has the posability that it does, where it's like a puppet in the way that you control the head and the legs kind of move up a little bit when he's, jumping up a little bit. You have the arms that are fully posable, the eyes, the eyebrows. Like, Simba maybe comes close, but not even still with the way that it's posable. So still unbelievably underrated. And yeah, you could get like a Bowser statue. You could get an NES for a more cost-effective price. That's not the point. It looks really cool, and it's made out of Lego.
And you get to build it. There's a difference between just buying something at a pawn shop versus actually being able to create it. Speaking of creating, I'll tell you right now, one of the most underrated themes ever, in my opinion, is the 3-in-1 creator sets. It is one of the themes that you walk into a Lego store, and for whatever reason, kids just kind of turn their head. They don't really look at those 3-in-1s. You talk about the most bang for your buck. Boy, I tell you what, those 3-in-1 creator sets are where it's at. Is there a better theme out there, a more underrated theme than the 3-in-1 creator sets?
It manages to be innovative and actually has replayability compared to a lot of other Lego sets.
Sure.
Usable parts, creative, has minifigures, has a wide variety of different things within the theme itself. I would actually say no. If anything, it would be icons, but a lot of those are very expensive, and a lot of them I feel are kind of boring. So,
3-in-1s are accessible too, for financially, right? Like, you're able to walk in and with little Jimmy and Jilly and say, "Let's go buy a Lego set," and
Jimmy and Jilly
or Jill, whatever. I had the Y's on the brain. Jimmy and Jill.
You had a daughter. Would you name her Jilly?
Jelly, actually.
You can end the show now. It's fine. Go ahead.
I had the Y's on the brain. What do you want me to say? The creator 3-in-1s, and what's nice is that there's still a lot of sets that aren't even labeled as the 3-in-1s, but they take the same concept, right? We had the Galaxy Explorer, which was basically a 3-in-1 without the title of 3-in-1. Like it had multiple builds. I still say that the Galaxy Explorer was one of the best bang for your buck sets that Lego's ever made. But that's, why that one's not available anymore. I have no idea. That should have been a moneymaker from day one that they have on shelves forever. It really, 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 really should. Jimmy and not Jimmy. That's exactly what we're going to do. Here's the deal, though. We want to know. I'll never live Jilly down. My God. Here's what we want to do, though. We want to hear from everybody. We want to hear what are some of your most overrated sets? What are some of your most underrated sets? Themes. What do you think about the Deku Tree? We want to hear and see these comments on YouTube, in our socials, everywhere and anywhere you can find us. I would really love to hear what you guys think. How crazy was I? How crazy was Brian in our crackpot Jilly commentary? Let us know.
I think we're pretty sensible, actually, all things considered. Like, this was it was spicy, but like nobody like was shocked like I was, like saying Rivendell. I mean, it's overrated.
It's
but,
not.
Yeah.
How is Rivendell over?
I think
that
Lord of the
was
Rings
your
is
opportunity,
overrated.
and you chose to go Voltron.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is overrated too.
Oh my God! Listen, he just had to throw one spicy dig in there.
This is the way.
Good Lord. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you so much for being here today on this Wednesday. You can catch us every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. And then everywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Check us out. Drop those comments, drop those likes. Don't forget to subscribe here on the YouTube channel. And don't forget to catch Mr. Bricks O'Brien live over on Twitch, doing that partner push it real good live tonight. We're going to be giving away some Lego with me. I'm going to be there dropping more Jilly. I'm going to try to get a t-shirt made that says Jilly ? Before tonight's show. That's what's going to happen. Until next Wednesday, everybody, I'm Zach. He's Brian. Jilly's somewhere around here, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.